Alright, so number 10 of the Q and A. I didn't think it would make it this long, considering it does take some time to make, and it doesn't really get that many views. Surprised I get over 1,000, but that's not a lot. If anything gets less than 10,000 views, it's basically a failure of a video. Because you don't really make enough, unless it's over 10,000. Because like the ad revenue thing, it's $1 to $3 every 1,000 views. And it's usually on the low end. So if you're not making... yeah, you need lots and lots of views in order to do this for a living. And the 1,000 views this is getting isn't really that much. But it's a thing where I can talk about myself. So it's pretty fun to do sometimes. And it's only like twice a month, so it's not that big a deal. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's see. What's happened since the last time I put out this video? Nothing much, just school. School's actually ending really soon. Three weeks from now. 3 weeks from now are my finals, so it's basically 4 more weeks, but I plan on taking the finals real early instead of at the end like I usually do. Because I want to get this over with. Because after this semester, I'm pretty sure my aid will end, so I have to actually like pay for it out of pocket instead of getting like government assistance. Because I did go to school like right out of high school, but I failed out of my classes for various reasons. It's okay, so what I did was I took 3 or 4 classes. Yeah, I took 4 classes right out of high school because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Because in high school, I knew I wanted to be an architect, like for sure, because I took an architect class in sophomore year. Okay, so basically we were taking like the tour of the school. They showed us the architect class where they built little houses, and I was like, oh, that's really neat. I want to build one of those houses. So I looked it up, and it's like, okay, so you have to take drafting first, and then you go in architecture, and that's where you make the little house. So I took drafting, and then I took architecture my next year, and I made my little house. I was like, this class is really boring. Because the dude gave us way too much time to complete our projects. I'd finish like the house floor plans in like a week, and then I'd have 3 months to just sit around and do whatever I wanted. So what I did was I just sat on the computer and looked up jokes, because they had like everything blocked on the computers back then. Well, I'm pretty sure they still have it right now. But yeah, they had like all the good sites blocked, so I couldn't play video games or anything. Plus the guy, our teacher's rarely actually in the room. We'd always go out and do stuff, and I just have to tab back into my architect project that I had already finished like months before, and I've just read jokes all day or talk to my friends in the class. Pretty fun class. But because I was in that class, I was like, I guess I'll be an architect. I know how to build houses now. I can do floor plans. I know all the measurements and crap. So I'm just going to go to school for that. And then while I was at my part-time job, there was this person, because she's like one of the people who would drop the drawers. Because after every shift, you'd have to... the girl from, I don't know what it's called, like the revenue place or something. They'd come in, they'd get all your money, you'd go with them, they'd sit down, they'd count it out, and you just have to watch them. That way, make sure you're not stealing or anything. And I told her how I was in an architect class. She's like, oh, you should read this book called The Fountainhead. It's about an architect. It's like, okay. And the book is by Ayn Rand. I don't know if any of you guys know who she is or anything, but there's like this whole internet meme about keep your kids away from Ayn Rand. I don't want to explain that right now. It's a whole philosophy discussion. Anyway, I didn't really buy into her philosophy because it wasn't reasonable. But the very first chapter of the book talks about the guy who's about to get kicked out of his college for architecture. And he gives this huge speech to his professor about how I'm going to be working for a majority of my life, and I'd rather do something I love than to, do something that I don't really care for, because it's a majority of my life, and I'm not going to waste it doing something I don't like just for money, or when I could just use that time to do something I love for, to enjoy the time you're working as well as the time off. I was like, you know what, I never thought of it that way. So I changed my plans, because I read this book during the second semester of my senior year of high school. I was like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. So I completely changed my plans on college. I had it all planned out. I was going to go to the local state university, because I knew I could make it in no problem. My dumb friend made it in, and I was one of the honor students in our school, so no biggie. But I decided not to. I wanted to take a break because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't want to go to school if I didn't know what I wanted to do, because we had a lot of people at my job people who were just going to school taking random classes and they didn't know what they wanted to do. So I decided not to do that. And then I eventually just decided to go anyway, just to see if I liked any of the classes. So I took a Flash class. I do lots of my drawings in Flash thanks to that class. A basic HTML, like web design. Isn't it web design? No, I think it's just web coding. Like basic coding. And then I took a math class and an intro English class. Some prereqs. And I only took 4 classes. I ended up dropping, actually I didn't really drop the English class, I just stopped showing up the English class because it was a morning class. I was like, I went to school in the morning, so I could totally do this morning class, no problem. And then I started raiding on a late night crew, and I was like, I'm too tired, I don't want to go to class anymore. Because the teacher would also make me read all of my essays in front of the class, because in addition to being good at everything in school, I was also really good at writing. So she would always make me read whatever I wrote as an example to everyone else to see this is what good writing sounds like. It's like, it's such a pain in the ass. Now I have to write all my papers with the notion that I'm going to be reading it to everyone. And that combined with the fact that it was an early class and I started raiding at night, I decided to stop going. So I don't know what happens when you just stop going. I'm pretty sure it reflects negatively on you. And then for my Flash class, a large portion of the grade was just doing the homework assignments, and I bought the book for it. But the book kept on getting delayed, and I didn't get it till like 3 months after classes started, and I finally got it. The assignments looked like they would take a really long time to do each one, so I was like, I don't want to do this. So I just didn't do the assignments. I did all of like the in-work assignments and like the final and the midterms, but since I didn't do any of the homework, I didn't pass the class. I got the lowest possible grade you can get. No, wait, the highest possible grade you can get. That's still failing the class. And then for my basic HTML class, that one, I totally did everything. I did all the homework, I did all the assignments, I studied for the midterms, and I went in for the final, and there was no one there. So like, okay, whatever, and I just left. And then I got like a notification that I'd been dropped from the class, because apparently they had changed the time of the final, and they sent it to my school email address I didn't know I had. So I looked at that, I was like, oh well, I didn't really care. I already failed 2 other classes, so I'm not going to worry about this one. I could have like did something, but I just decided to leave it. And then I passed my math class, because math is easy. So yeah, I failed 3 classes. Well, I failed, I don't know. I kind of want to say they weren't my fault, but I just stopped going to one of them. I didn't do any of the homework for one, and then the one I was lazy about figuring out how to do the final. I was kind of surprised they dropped me from the class for not doing the final, considering I did everything else, but whatever. So anyways, since I failed out that semester, I got academic probation, and I couldn't get my financial aid from the government, which is really nice, because I'm poor as shit, so I can't afford to go without it. And then I just took a year off, and I played WoW, and that was fun. That was a lot of fun, just playing WoW without having to go to school. I just went to my part-time job on the weekends. My part-time job was a lot of fun. I worked at a mini golf water park place. All my coworkers were great. The only bad thing about the job was that it was usually busy, and customers are the worst. I hate people. Customers. Work in customer service for a little bit, and you'll figure out that a lot of people just suck. I remember there was this one time I was helping. I only remember this because it was like one of the last things I did before I got fired from there. There was this guy who had this game card on it, because we have an arcade, and I was working around the... Actually, I don't even know if I was working in the arcade that day. I think I was just walking by this guy when he had a question about his stupid card. Basically, his daughter was at a birthday party, and for birthday parties, they gave everyone a card with 10 credits on it. 1 credit is 25 cents, so what is 10 times 25? It's like $2.50. Yeah, I think it's $2.50. So she had $2.50 on this card, and most games cost anywhere from 25 cents to $1 to play. And he said, oh, this card isn't working. I was like, okay. So I grab it and I scan it in the machine that tells me all the history of the card, because we get asked all the time that our card isn't working, and it's usually just because, actually, I don't know, it's a whole bunch of different things. But this case, I scanned it, and it looked like he had, or his daughter, had used it 5 times. How many times can you use it at 50 cents? Let's see, that's 2, 4, yeah. She had used it 5 times at the claw machine that cost 50 cents to play. And I was like, okay, so the reason this card doesn't work anymore is because your daughter used all the money on it already on the claw machine right over there, and I pointed at it. And the dude looks at me, he was like, so are you calling my daughter a liar? I was like, what? He's like, you're saying my daughter's a liar. I told you this card's not working. I was like, no, it is working. I just told you why it's not working right now, though. He's like, oh, let me speak to your manager. And I just walked away from him. I was like, whatever, dude, fuck you. If you're going to be unreasonable, I'm just going to walk away. I really should have went to the manager because that's like usual protocol. We usually get people who are irrationally stupid like that. But I was already like giving no fucks about my job around that point. That was kind of a reason why I got fired. So I just left. And I'm pretty sure he found the manager and complained about the terrible employee who lied to him about his daughter and blah, blah, blah. I was like, whatever. The managers always take our side on customer complaints because they know just as well as we do that customers are crazy. Because like all of our managers we had worked as the grunt works before, so they know exactly how stupid customers could be. Alright, so damn, that was a long tangent. I wasn't really planning on talking about that. I was talking about how school's ending. Yeah, because of those classes I took and I failed out. I didn't go back for the second semester, and you only get like 4 years of school money. And when I went back again, when I decided I wanted to go into psychology, because before, I'd always liked it. Like, I read a book when I was in 9th grade about mind control and how people used to be brainwashed during the Korean War, and I was like, this is great. I'd love to learn more about this. And I just like, why not? Psychology's fun. I'll go for that. It seems like it'd be easy. It's not. If you want to go for a psychology degree, it's not that easy. I don't know. I didn't think it would be. It's probably not that hard. It's just, if you want to take a foreign language class, don't take Japanese. That crap's hard. So anyways, I took it really easy when I went back because I failed out last time. So I took like 2 classes at a time and yada, yada, yada. I have all my prereqs done except for the ones I'm taking now. Unless I fail Japanese this semester, I only have 1 more semester left to take it. And I'm on the fence right now. I have like a 70%, and it keeps skirting a little bit above, a little bit below, but it's around 70%, and you need at least a 70% to pass a class, so I'm doing my hardest not to fail at the 70%. So I might pass or I might not, but if I do, I still have to take 1 more semester of it. Plus I have to take 1 more math class, and then I'm ready to transfer to a real university. So I was just thinking about taking like a semester off if I don't have the financial aid for the next semester. And I can just save up for it. And if I take a semester off, I'll have a lot of time to make more videos, which means, oh, that'd be a lot more fun. I should probably just drop out of school. That'd be fun too. I don't need to go anymore. I have a job. It's a fun job. There's not really a bright future in it, because it's really fickle with the stuff YouTube does. But it's fun for now. I don't really care about the future. Although I might just go back to school. I don't know. I haven't really thought it out yet. All things considering, the current plan is to finish school. Get a degree. That way I could just say I went to college. I don't really want to do anything with it. Okay, so on to the other things I have on this list. I haven't really put out a video in a while. Okay, so for like the past 2 weeks, I was going to put out like one of the new Patreon videos, because like on my Patreon thing, I put like a whole bunch of video ideas out that I'm going to do, and then I just have the people there vote on which one they're going to do. So the 2 I have right now are the top 10 most influential lore villains and the history of raiding, either one of those videos. So I started looking up the research for the top 10 lore villains, most influential lore villains, and my list is basically just a whole bunch of people like everyone and their mom knows. And I was like, I don't want to make a video on this. Everybody knows about these people. It would be just like regurgitating, I don't know. I still might do it anyway. I've just been kind of away from the idea, drawn away from it, just because it's just a whole bunch of people. If I stray from the list too much, since it is most influential lore villains, people will give me a lot of crap in the comments. And if I stick to it, I'm pretty sure people will give me a lot of crap for, oh, so-and-so's done this already. It's like, yeah, whatever. Who cares? You're still going to watch it anyway. So I want to have that done by this week, but most likely it's come out next week just because I still haven't really worked on it that much. Because of that, I wanted to have like a video out really quickly. It's like, let me just do a quick top 10 PvP pet battles. I don't even have to research this. I already know it off the top of my head because I do it all the time. And I started writing a script, and the next thing I knew, it was 20 minutes long. I was like, shit, I can't get this done by Wednesday, so I decided just to turn it into a weekend video. It's supposed to be a really quick one just to advertise my pet battle channel. And I ended up turning it into like this huge 20-minute video that got very little views, which I totally expected. Because not really people like, I'm actually like super surprised that my top 25 pet battle video has as many views as it does. I would consider this a successful video. But then again, I consider any video that gets more views than the amount of subscribers I have to be a successful video. Speaking of subscribers, actually, I do want to do a live Q&A on Twitch for hitting 20,000 subscribers. I don't know why I want to do it. I think someone suggested. I was like, that seems like a neat idea. 20,000 seems like a neat milestone. And I should be hitting it by Friday of, what is it? Today's Thursday, actually. Yeah, I might be hitting it tomorrow. Friday, April 24th. Because I'm looking at it right now, 19,929. Okay, I might hit it by the end of the day. Because based on my statistics, let's see, I get an average of about 80 subscribers a day. Looks like I got 78 yesterday, 70 the day before that, 125 the day before that. Yeah, it varies a lot. On the low end, it's usually like, on a low day, let's see, the lowest day I had was back in March 31st. I only got 38 subscribers that day. Wow, super low number. My highest was a few days ago at 125. So yeah, I'll be hitting 20,000 super soon, so I'm going to do a live Q&A. I'll probably put out an announcement video, and then I'll put out another video tomorrow. So I'll put out 2 videos tomorrow, like one, hey, I'm going to do this video today, and another, hey, I'm doing this video right now, so you can come and ask me questions and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. You'll probably, if I get this out today, you'll probably just see it then. And actually, this really isn't enough time. I think I might have to do the Q&A on either Saturday or Sunday or something. Yeah, Saturday seems fine. Whatever, you'll see an announcement video. It's going to be soon, because I'll be hitting 20,000. By the time this video comes out, it'll probably be at 20,000, just because of how many I get every day. Who knows, maybe once I hit 20,000, it'll start going up even further. But I think I need to actually like start out putting videos, since I've only put out like 2 in the past 2 weeks. One of them was one that was just, they both got really low views, because the other one was the Ret Arena video thing. The only reason I made the Ret video arena thing was because, like, the guy who I'm trying to get to edit for me, he showed me, like, a montage video of his, because he remembered me talking about how I wanted to do a PvP arena type video. My last Q&A, and he showed me something. I was like, here, let me put together something so I can show you what I was talking about. So I just put it together like in a couple hours to show him the kind of video I wanted to make for arenas. I was like, you know what? If I just make a couple of edits to this, I can probably just turn it into a real video. So I just put in a couple extra edits and released it. And it's doing about as well as I thought it would. At 2,000 views since last week, which is not a lot. 2,000 is really low. That's about just barely more than a Q&A video. But whatever, that's to be expected. And yeah, so I only put out those 2 videos. I really need to, what I want to do is put out my new Dave and Dev video by this weekend, because I already have it like half done. And I tried to like learn After Effects so I can make it look better, but then that was taking too long, so I just switched back to Sony Vegas. So it's going to look a little weird, because like the first 2 frames of the new video will be in really good quality, and then the rest of it will be, I don't want to say crappy quality, but it's not going to be as good quality as like the first 2 frames of the video. It'll be really noticeable. And I don't really want to redo those first 2 frames. I'm just going to leave them in. Maybe one day I'll just do it all in After Effects and I'll look really nice, but for now, Sony Vegas will do just fine. Alright, so, my stream videos, I've been doing more of those. I think I'll take this opportunity to show you all the stream videos, because if you don't know, for whenever I stream, I put out a video. And the video I put out, I like to put in a little bit of effort to try to make it a literal, like its own little mini video, like a joke or two in it. So, I seem to be getting good feedback from him. Some people like him. I like him. I think it's a funny thing. If you're going to put out a crappy video to show that you're going to stream, might as well make it somewhat entertaining, and it's not that hard to do. So I'm just going to show those right here.
Hello, I am DevBot. I'm here to tell you about Project Snow White. Project Snow White was a secret operation about how a certain organization managed to do the largest government infiltration in US history, and is the reason they have tax-exempt status today. Also, Hiru is streaming video games, so you should go watch that instead.
Did you know that the opposite of black holes are estimated to be white holes, which spray out matter and light like fountains? Interesting stuff. I'm also streaming my guild doing heroic blackhand attempts. So, if you want to ponder the vastness of the universe and the fact that we are all insignificant in the grand scheme of things, or watch me play video games, it doesn't really matter. Nothing matters. We'll all die someday. Did you also know that the very furthest galaxies are spreading away from us at more than 90% the speed of light? That's pretty neat. Speed of light is fast as shit.
Did you know it would take 25 days to actually read all of the terms and conditions you agree to over the course of a year? Oh, and Hiru is streaming some dumb video games, so go watch that. Wake up, sheeple.
Alright. So, let's see, what else do we have? I actually finished that first half of the recording, and then I had something that came up. Now I'm finishing the second half right here on a different day, so I really don't want to go and listen to that first half again. I'll just follow my list, I'm pretty sure. Let's see here. I talked about all of this stuff. I'm super close to finishing. One more thing I should probably mention. I have a friend who does cosplay stuff. I think her Facebook page is like Cinderella Cosplay. I don't know, I'll leave a link in the video description. You should totally go and just like the page for her. Because, I don't know why. She just asked me if I could give her page a shout out. I don't really get what likes do, but I guess she just wants people to see her cosplay stuff. She does some World of Warcraft stuff too, and her stuff is pretty good. Like one of her weapons she designed for a priest cosplay actually made it to the front page of the WoW subreddit, which is pretty nice. That's a pretty large subreddit. It's like one of the largest ones on Reddit. So that's a pretty good accomplishment. And she's a really good friend. I met her a long time ago. I think it might have been 4 years. Dang, that's a long time. She stopped playing for 2 years of those times. Anyways, I met her and she helped me get through a really hard time in my life. So she's a great friend because she put up with my whining and complaining for so long. I don't know how she could put up with that, because I was just huge negative Nancy, just complaining about everything because, well, that's what depression does to you. And she was a super champ about it. I don't think I could have done what she did. So I pretty much owe her for life. So a simple shout out to her Facebook page is no big deal. You should totally go like her page just because I asked you to. Not really a big deal. Anyways, let's see. One more thing before I actually get on to the questions from the last video. Since school will be ending soon, I will be making more videos, and I would love it if I have one of you beautiful people, if you wanted to research some video ideas I have, because I have a huge list of video ideas, and getting the research and writing them together does take a couple of hours. So if any of you people who are watching this and like World of Warcraft, and wouldn't mind doing some research, I am willing to pay some people to write some scripts for me. Well, I wouldn't say write. Yeah, maybe if you wanted to write it. I just mean research gathering. Say I wanted to make a video about the Lincoln quest for the vanilla WoW quest. Since it's no longer in the game, I'd have to put it together like I did the Legend of Stalvan and the that one video I made for the Hunter Bow. I'd have to put it together that way. So I would just need you to basically go in and copy and paste all the quest texts and then research anything interesting about it. and easy stuff, and I pay you like $5 for it. Not too much, but I would pay you for your time. Or if I wanted to make like a top 10 video of like all the Alliance heroes, I would just give you a list of name suggestions and then ask for some more suggestions you might have, and then just research everything about them. Don't copy and paste from WoW IKEA. I don't want to. Ooh, I just told myself I wouldn't name drop any more YouTubers. Yeah, so it's just stuff like that. It does take a long time, so if anyone wants to do that, totally just send me a message. Anywhere but YouTube. Like Reddit, Tumblr, Facebook, Twitter, any of those places, just not YouTube, because they have the message hidden like under 5 layers of button clicks, which is so inconvenient. And yeah, don't leave a comment, because it's really hard to reach you through the comments too, because sometimes a lot of people who do send me messages do comments. For one, I don't read comments all the time because I get so many every day. Even on the Q and A videos, I kind of just go in and read them like from 2 weeks from now, or I do read them like the day after too. But yeah, just send me a message anywhere but YouTube. Funny, considering all this stuff happens on YouTube. Okay, that's it. Now let's go on to questions from the last video. There is like 5 of them here, actually. Wow. First up, which anime do you watch this season? Ooh, what an excellent question. I'm just saying excellent question, that way I can buy some time so I can open up my little thing that has all my anime on it. I actually watched this thing on a podcast from the people who did Freakonomics Radio. They had this thing about the question, that's an interesting question. No, the statement, that's an interesting question. How people use it just to buy time, even though they don't really mean that's an interesting question. Funny stuff. That's a great podcast. Freakonomics Radio. Anyways, let's see. I actually have like all my anime set on a schedule now. That way I remember what's coming out. Looks like today on Friday, it's Assassination Classroom, The Disappearance of Yuki Nagato, Nisekoi, Is It Okay to Pick Up Girls in Dungeons, Food Wars. Ooh, Food Wars is awesome. In Food Wars, people will, like, the guy makes food so delicious that anyone who eats it orgasms and like their clothes explode off. It's really great. My teen romantic comedy, Snafu. It's a really good show, just about a guy who reminds me so much of myself. And Renkan, I don't really like that show. Let's see. Tomorrow, on Saturday, I watch Fate's Day Night. I didn't really like the first season of Fate's Day Night, but the second season is way better. Every single episode is better than the entire last season. It's literally in the last season, they would have like these fights between each other. And it's like, ugh, I'm tired. I'm going to go home now, even though I could kill you if I just continue this battle for another 2 minutes. And it happened like 5 times in a row. I was like, this is lazy ass writing. And the second season, stuff is actually going down. I was like, wow, I'm so glad I stuck with it. Plus the visuals are amazing. I'm pretty sure they have a budget of like a small country to make that show. It just looks so good. Then we've got Plastic Memories. Plastic Memories is another really good show, I think. I really only like picked it up because the first episode made me cry, because it was so sad. The premise for the show is that they have these very human-like androids, yeah, you know, like half, I don't know, they're basically like full robots, but they're given the souls of people, so they act and look like real people, but they only have like a limited duration on them. It's like, I don't know, an average of 5 to 10 years on each one of them. And the anime follows the people who have to go and recover these androids when their time limit's up. Like, they can live past their time limit, but then they start to have complications if they do live past that point. They haven't really explained what that is yet. But in like one of the scenes, they have to go pick up a little girl android, and the grandmother didn't want to let her go. And when they pick her up, they have a really tearful goodbye, and they do it in such a way that it just pulls on the heartstrings, and you'd have to be a monster not to feel anything. Yeah, so that first episode, just watch that, and if it doesn't hook you, then you're probably a monster. And then, of course, Kuroko no Basuke. It's like Dragon Ball Z meets basketball. It's really fun. Actually, I watch a lot of sports anime. I love sports anime. I don't like watching sports, but I do love watching sports anime because they go into crazy detail talking about everything that's happening in there. And like every time they make a play, they have like 3 people talk about what just happened from different angles. Like, oh, I would never have saw that if it was like in a real game. It's fun stuff. You can't really understand the joy of watching an a sports anime until you watch a sports anime, because there's like nothing really to compare it to. I'm trying to think if there's something, I don't know. I can't think of anything on the top of my head. And then, let's see, on Sunday, ooh, I have to call for jury duty on Sunday. Ugh, I hope I don't get called in. That would suck. Anyways, let's see, we got Baby Steps, a tennis sports anime. It's a little bit more realistic. That one's really good. Hello Kinamanzo Season 2. That one's really funny. It's just about like two girls from England who go to Japan. It's just a cute show. And then Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches. That one, I watched the first episode and I ended up reading the entire manga like after it. Not because I hooked me from the first episode, but because someone on the Reddit comment said, ooh, this was a nice first episode, but they did skip some stuff. So I would suggest reading the manga along with the anime. So I was like, okay, I'll go read the first couple chapters. So that I ended up reading all of it. So I was like, I want to see what happens next. And I ended up reading all of it and I was like, that was okay. Nothing great. Wasn't bad either. And then on Monday, we've got Ace of Diamonds and Tekyo. Ace of Diamonds is a really nice baseball anime. Wow, that's like 3 sports animes on my list already. Oh, I love Ace of Diamonds. Hopefully they'll end the recap episodes. They had like the last 3 weeks have been nothing but recap episodes. But that's because I started a new season, and the first season was like 80 episodes long, so whatever. And then, let's see. Tuesday we've got that Vocaloid anime. I don't remember what it's called, but it's pretty funny. The main character is a total lesbian, and she fully embraces it, and it's hilarious because she just goes after girls like crazy. And it also has like this supernatural twist to it. It's a really interesting anime. I don't remember what it's called though. And then we got the band one. I just have band one written right here. It's the one by Keion Ani. It's just a really gorgeous looking anime about girls joining a band at their high school, and the band sucks. So that's shaping up to be a more realistic KO, I guess. Of course, all you people who don't watch anime have no idea what I'm talking about right now. Let's see, and then on Wednesday we've got My Love Story / actually just My Love Story. My Love Story is so funny. It's like about this guy who's like a giant monster. He's not really a monster, he's just really big. And his best friend is a really hot guy, and every girl he's ever loved growing up has actually liked his best friend instead. And the whole story starts off with him saving this girl from a molester on a train, and then they have all these hijinks ensue. And in the third episode, I don't know, it's just like the cutest show I've ever seen. And I'm a huge fan of, I would call it a rom-com, yeah, definitely. Let's see, and then on Thursday we've got I Can't Understand What My Husband's Saying, Season 2. That show is just great. I've already talked about that before. Okay, that's enough. I talked a lot more about anime than I thought I would. That's enough of that. Let's see, next question. What kind of car do you drive? I don't drive a car, actually. I mean, I do. I don't actually have a car of my own. I've had 2 cars in the past. I had like a truck that the engine just died on me, so I sold it on Craigslist for like $400. I was like, yeah, I'm not trying to fix this crappy car. And then I had another car. It was a really nice one. They were both sticks, so I'm like a pro at driving stick. It's a nice little blue Kia, I think. Neat car. I forgot what happened to it, but it just stopped working. And then my sister's husband just took it. I don't know what the hell he did with it. I think he fixed it or something. I don't know. Anyways, I just used some of his cars because he likes to buy cars at auctions, fix them up, and resell them. And then my, what would you call him? My father-in-law, I guess, since he married my mom. Yeah. My father-in-law also does that too. He has his own business where he buys cars off of Craigslist, fixes them up, and sells them. He also has his own mechanics that works with him on site. So, yeah, I have a couple people in my life where I can just borrow cars from because I have an abundance of them. So I don't have a car of my own, but I do borrow cars a lot if I ever need them for stuff. Sometimes I don't have a car, so I just have to take the bus. And taking the bus isn't really a big deal. I just put on a couple. I already have a whole bunch of podcasts always on my iPod, so I just listen to one of those and grab one of my mini portable players and just sit on the bus and play video games. Usually I have a car though. Sometimes I take the bus. Not a big deal though. Okay, let's see. Next question. What race from WoW would you be in the real world? That's an easy question. If I was a boring person, I would say human, because I am a human. But for reals, it would totally have to be like Taurans, because those guys are super strong. Like, if you think about it logistically, is that the word for it? No, that doesn't make any sense. That's definitely not the word for it. If you think about it in, like, physical terms, Taurens are the biggest race. I'd have to say Draenei come in. Draenei are pretty big too, but they're not big as Taurens. Taurens are just naturally stronger than everyone else. If it was going to play by, like, real world physics, which they don't, Taurens would definitely be, like, the strongest. That would be the coolest. Tauren master race. Otherwise, if you were going to go with, like, magic and stuff, I'd probably say, do Blood Elves or Night Elves have the most magic? I don't remember. I'm pretty sure they're both reliant on a different magic source, so yeah, probably still Taurens. Alright, next question. How many hours a week do you play WoW? Not that much. It all depends on what time of year it is. If it's like around midterms or finals, like finals are coming up soon, so I have to start studying for that. I mean, I've already been studying, but I have to actually increase my study time for it. I play a lot less. When I don't really have much to do, like in between semesters, I play it, I don't remember. I haven't really had a time off in a long time. Let's see, usually I get on to play some pet battle stuff to record footage for that. I get on to do my dailies. I would have to say that all takes about like 2 hours at most. Plus I raid 3 days a week for about 3 hours each. I don't know, I'm usually on for about a little bit before and a little bit after, so I'd say about 4 hours there. So we've got 4 times 3, which is 12, plus about another 2 hours for every day, so that's 7 times 2, which is 14. 14 plus 12 is 26. About 26 hours, about 26 hours a week on average. Unless I decide to play a little bit more, which I do sometimes, so it's a little bit more than that. But about 26 hours, which, it's not too bad. Let's see. Next question. Have you ever seen Soul Eater? Yeah, I have seen it. Soul Eater is a great anime if you don't watch the ending. If you want to know why, watch the anime and then watch the ending and you'll see why. Because the ending just comes out of nowhere and makes no sense and is really stupid. And really makes the rest of the anime, like, just, like, before the ending, it's a neat anime. I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. The ending, though, drops it like a point or two. 7 or 6. Just because it's so bad. It makes no sense. It just comes out of nowhere. Okay, last one. Have you ever played Prototype? This was in response to me talking about how much I love Hulk Ultimate Destruction. Prototype is a game that's similar to it, except it's not as fun. Prototype is like a free roaming thing where you can jump from building to building just like in Hulk. Except you're this dude who has like, who can transform his body into stuff. And when he fights people, it's just not as impactful as Hulk. With Hulk, every time he hits something, it makes like a loud noise. And when he jumps up buildings, it makes loud crashes every time he falls. Prototype, he's very light-footed. He just kind of like, it's like playing Assassin's Creed if you had like a open road thing. And when he fights people, he does like special abilities where he stands still and does them all, while Hulk, he just runs around and like crashes into everything. It's not as fun as Hulk Ultimate Destruction, even though it does have the same open world style. Wait, Prototype is the one where, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that one with the guy who has like the scythe for an arm. It's not as fun. It's a neat alternative if you can't play Hulk Ultimate Destruction, but Hulk Ultimate Destruction is the better of the Prototype thing, even though Prototype did come out later and it has better graphics. I do have it on Steam because I heard it was like Hulk Ultimate Destruction, but I don't like it. Okay. And it looks like that's it for the questions from the last video. Okay. So, since the video is only going to be like, I don't know, 40 or 50 minutes at this point, I thought I would answer a few more questions. I have like this whole list of questions I copy and paste from Tumblr every now and then whenever they come up. So, I thought I would just go over a couple of these, just to fill in some time. Let's see, I have some of them picked out right here. Talk about something that happened in elementary school. Let's see, elementary school. That's a pretty vague question. I think I've talked about this one a couple of times. Let's see, there's that first time I dealt with a bully. That's a fun one. I think I've told that one like in a whole bunch of my other Q and A videos. Basically, when I was in 3rd grade, there was this big fat kid who tried to bully me. And after about a couple days of me unsuccessfully trying to get him to stop, I got a friend of mine and we jumped him at recess, and he was super nice to me after that. So that didn't happen very long. And, there was another time. Because the thing is, I moved to a new school every year because my mom was a drug addict and we moved around a lot. So, in one of the new schools I went to when I was in 5th grade, whenever you go to a new school, and the further along you get in years, like 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, a whole bunch of the people in school have been friends together since like kindergarten, so they have a really tight group and it's really hard to break into it. So later on in school, it's not, like if you move around a lot before like 5th, 6th grade, it's not really a big deal. You can just make new friends, no problem. Over that, the kids start getting older and they start getting set in their ways, and they only want to hang out with the friends they've had since, like kindergarten, because not everyone moves to a new school every single year. So 5th grade, I go in, and there's all these people who are talking to each other. I don't really want to. They weren't letting me talk to them back. So there was one kid who was being particularly nasty, and I thought I would win him over by calling him Four Eyes because he wore glasses. And I forgot what happened. I think I tried to grab like a paperweight from him, and then he stabbed me in the hand with a pencil. It's like, wow, that's the first time I've ever been stabbed. That hurt. Have you ever been stabbed in the hand with a pencil before? I thought there was more to that story. I guess not. We became friends later. Stuff like that. Actually, how did that even happen? I don't know. 5th grade was pretty fun. I made a lot of friends. Let's see. Let's talk about something that happened in middle school. There's like 3 questions right here, and one's elementary, one's middle, and one's high school. Something from middle school. Funny story about middle school. I was actually really shy in middle school because of what I was talking about earlier with elementary school. And like the further along you get, kids they already have their tight groups formed. They don't want to let anyone else in. So since I kept moving to new schools all the time, finally around like 8th grade, I moved to like my 8th or 9th school. I don't remember. I moved to a lot of schools. And there was like a huge culture shock where everyone... I remember I went to like... I lived like in a townhouse when I was in 7th grade. But it was like right next... It was in a really nice neighborhood with a whole bunch of really, really nice houses. So the school I went to was pretty hard, and all those kids were pretty great people. I eventually did make friends with a group of nerds who read Shonen Jump magazine from the library. That was great. Then I moved to a different school, into like a house, but it was in a lower income area, and the middle school I went to was right next to a whole bunch of lower income apartment buildings. And I remember like the first day in class, a kid made a fart noise, and a kid made a fart noise, and the entire class erupted in laughter. I was like, oh my god, that's not funny. There's nothing funny about that. That's so stupid. I've never found fart jokes funny. And then the next class, a different kid did it with a whole group of different people. Same exact thing happened. Everyone in the class erupted in laughter. They just made a really fake fart noise with their mouth. And I was like, oh, this is gonna suck. So 8th grade, I didn't talk to anyone. I became super shy because I hadn't really... I don't know, I got kind of tired of moving to new schools all the time. So it's like, you know what, it takes a lot of effort to make new friends. I'm just not going to bother. And no one talked to me. Yeah, they don't want to talk to a new kid who they've never seen before. No big deal. And then in 9th grade, I joined the football team, and I was easily the best player on that crappy team. And if you're the best player in your school's football team, in the US anyway, people will talk to you, even if you don't want them to. So I made lots of friends very next year, just because I was really good at football. So yeah, that's something that happened in middle school. I used to be super shy for like a year and a half. And then I went back to being myself. Really outgoing. I don't know. I'm an introvert. I prefer to be by myself, but I can be around other people, and I do find other people as a source of entertainment. I'm pretty sure other people find other people as a source of entertainment. They just wouldn't put it in those words exactly because it sounds really stupid. It's like, yes, I have fun being around other people. Well, yeah, that's the same as saying you get entertainment from other people. Especially if you mess with them, and I don't know, just having friends is fun sometimes. But majority of the time, I like to be just by myself playing video games. Or, like making videos and crap. But, yeah. Alright, let's see. Something that happened in high school. High school. Actually, I have lots of stories about high school, too. I lived a very eventful life. High school is actually when everything calmed down. I finally stopped moving around, kind of. I still moved around, but I still went to the same high school. It just took a really long drive. Let's see, story from high school. I have a lot of stories, but they all usually involve football. Let's see, a non-football high school story. I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh with some kids behind the math buildings, because like the math buildings were really far away from everything else, and you could go to them pretty easily during lunch, but not a lot of people went over there just because it was like kind of out of the way. So one day, it was game day, and on game days at our school, they have the football players wear a jersey over their, shirts. That way it's like to advertise today's game day, so go to the game. A lot of people would actually go on the football team, even though they sucked and would never actually play, just so they could wear a jersey on game day, so they could brag about being on the football team. It was always funny every time game day came around, because unless I had a friend in the class, I didn't really ever talk to anyone. I just actually sat down and did my work, because if you can just sit down and do your work without talking to anyone, you get a lot of work done. You don't have to do any homework, and I really liked not having to do homework. So every time game day came around on a new class, I always had the jersey on, and it would always surprise everyone around me. It's like, what? You're on the football team? You're so quiet, though. It's like, yeah, it's because I'm trying to get my work done. And anyways, it was game day, and I was walking around the math buildings playing Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Tag Force 3 on my PSP, the one I had imported from Europe because they didn't have an American release, which was a pain in the ass. And I walk into these kids playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And they look up to me, and they see the jersey. And I was like, oh, you guys play Yu-Gi-Oh! Too? And I show them my PSP that I was walking around playing. I'm playing that too. This is great. I didn't think anyone else played Yu-Gi-Oh! Either. And they're like, oh, cool. And I sat down and talked to them, and then I bought a deck within the next week, and I started playing with them too. That was a lot of fun. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Kids, though, they were really weird. This is something I found out a lot. Like, it was fun playing with them, but I would never hang out with them outside of school just because they were weirdos. It was fun playing Yu-Gi-Oh! With them, talking Yu-Gi-Oh! With them, but they had no social skills. And same thing like the anime club. We had an anime club at our school too. I was technically a member, but I never actually went because I had a friend on my football team who looked exactly like Jack Black. So everyone used to call him Jack Black because he looked like a mini Jack Black. He was really fat. No, he wasn't really fat. He was a chubby little kid who looked just like Jack Black. He was a cool kid to talk to. He was really bad at football though, so he ended up quitting pretty soon. He always come back like at the beginning of the year, like I'm going to do it this year, but he just was not physically active enough to do it. Plus, he was a kind of short, fat kid, too, so with no physical talent. He was a fun kid to hang out to. I like working out with him, too, but I also really like working out with people who are weaker than me, because the way we did our workout in football was you would do your max like bench, squats, and everything, and you would tune your workout around your max. And since I was one of the strongest guys on the team, I had a really tough workout, and in order to do my workout, I'd have to like change the weights on it after every set, and we'd work out like in groups of 4. So I like to work out with people who are weaker than me, because I would use the excuse, oh, we don't need to change the weights. I'll just do what you guys are doing to save time, that we can get this over with. So I love working out with people who are weaker than me because it gave me an easier workout. So I worked out with him too. Great stuff. I met a lot of good people working out with the not as physically active kids in the football team. So he was one of those kids I met, and he had a group of friends who all watch anime too. He was really into To Love Ru, which, if you don't know what anime that is, it's really bad. It's a really stupid show. And they tried to get me into it, and I didn't really like it. But he had his little friends, and they started up an anime club, and I met with them because they're all sitting at the table together, and every single one of his friends was a weeaboo stereotype. It's like, okay, I'm not hanging out with any of these people, because it looks like only half of them actually shower, and the other half are wearing weird clothes. And I'm pretty sure they would do the Naruto run if they were running around too. It's like, okay, sure, I'll sign the thing. I'm never going to go to this thing though. But it's nice to meet you guys, to know that I'm still going to hang out with my football friends, even though I don't really like them. As soon as football ended, I stopped talking to all of my football friends. I only like pretended to be nice to all of them and fit in. I like to pretend to be someone who would make a lot of friends, and that's how you make a lot of friends, and you become an interesting person to hang around with if you just take on a persona of someone who's interesting. So I stopped talking to them because I didn't really have any interest with anyone else in the football team, but they all really liked me, and I totally get it because I'm great. But yeah, I kind of wish I did talk to some of them still. That'd be nice. I don't think I have any friends that aren't girls. No, I totally do. I have some guy friends. I just don't talk to them very much. Yeah, it would be nice to have some guy friends. That'd be cool. Yeah. So high school, I played Yu-Gi-Oh, and I was part of the anime club, even though I never went to that. I did play Yu-Gi-Oh a lot. That was fun. Okay, let's see. I think I'll do one more question on here because this is getting. I think it's at the appropriate length now. Let's see. Ooh, this one. Talk about your worst fear. I do have something that qualifies as this that I don't like talking about. I talked about like once by accident on my stream, but I think I can talk about it now since not many people watch it, especially not to the end of the Q and A videos. Basically, I have a huge irrational fear of something that you wouldn't really think. I am deathly afraid of praying mantis. I hate them. Even pictures are enough to set me off. If I'm reading an article online and a stray praying mantis comes in, it's like, okay, that was a nice article, but I'm done. I'm also going to go do something else to get the image out of my mind. I remember when I was watching Anchorman 2, like one of the credit images was a praying mantis. I was like, oh, fucking shit. Yeah, it's just, I understand phobias because I have one. I don't understand why I'm afraid of them, but if I see one, I just get instantly afraid. And I don't like telling anyone about that because pictures set me off. So if I told the internet what I was afraid of, I'm pretty sure they would send me pictures of them just to be, trolls. Yeah, so I don't look at pictures. I especially didn't want to tell anyone about this fear either, just in case people would send me a whole bunch of pictures of that, so I'm afraid of praying mantis. Don't send me pictures, because I'll probably block you, or delete you, or whatever. But if you really want to piss me off, send me pictures of them. I won't open any pictures anyone sends me, though, unless I, know who they are. Now that I've said this, anyway.